The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
To Guardian Radio AM. Today is Friday, October 27th, and it's a little after 11 o'clock in the morning. Once again, this is C.A. Newry, and I shall be your host for the day as we talk a little bit of politics. Politics. Sometimes you get tired of talking about politics, but the news hot. Did you buy The Guardian today? The Guardian is filled with all kinds of news, exciting news, and I said, man, I have no other choice. I need to pull some of these information out. So, Yesterday I was going through social media. Of course, you know I do that. That's how you hustle the money. And I saw a video, and the video had Don Sanders. Don Sanders, who is the deputy chairman of the Free National Movement. He seemed to have been being interviewed by a media house. I couldn't see which media house it is. The person who was recording him being interviewed didn't allow me to see that. But the reason why he was being interviewed, he was defending the chairman of the Free National Movement. Don Sanders is the deputy chairman of the Free National Movement, and he was defending the chairman of the Free National Movement, who is Dwayne Sands. There were a crowd of about 8, 9 people around him. They was chanting. They had placards. The placards read that, Sands, take your foot off our necks. And the persons who were in the crowds making accusations of Sands being a poor chairman, right? And I thought this argument, this exchange, this uncomfortableness in the afternoon had ceased. I thought all was going well. Apparently all is not going well. I started that story off to move over to the PLP because it seems that the FNM is having issues with their chairman. They are not happy. They are waiting on a convention which seems not to happen no time soon. I'm not sure why they're still waiting. That finished with. They might never have a convention. They probably just ain't like that. But the PLP is having a convention. They're having a convention next week. And it seems as if the current chairman, Frederick Mitchell, I like saying his full name, Frederick Mitchell, is going to be challenged. First of all, I don't know if the current chairman, Frederick Mitchell of the Progressive Liberal Party, has acknowledged that he will continue to vie, to defend, to promote that he will remain as chairman of the Progressive Liberal Party. I know there was concerns raised by party members for the last 2 years saying, well, why is a sitting MP still the chairman of the party? And there should be 2 separate positions, including also he as a minister. I see Erin Green is buttoning in, so I can let her see.
No, I just wanted to say, I wondered if they asked about the minister part.
Okay, the minister part. Get all of that. Yes. And the minister part. Thank you very much for making that clear. And the sitting MP and minister of a minister of the party, of the government, and also, that's an old video of Don Sanders. Oh, so they circulating it or despite. Okay, manipulating, that's good. Political intrigue, I like that. I just got a text to remind me that was an old video of Don Sanders, and I'm saying, yeah, because I was surprised. I didn't know that intrigue is still happening. But back to the PLP, right? There were a number of concerns by party members saying, why is he remaining in that position? Right? And I said, well, the convention hasn't come yet. And he will remain in that position until the convention comes. And of course, there were continuous issues, people in the party doing snide remarks, lobbying that it needs to change. Now comes the what you call it again? Now comes the convention. Comes the convention, and it seems as if Frederick Mitchell will be challenged. This is where Erin Green comes to read the newspaper now. It seems that 2 people have lobbied or is lobbying to challenge the current sitting seat of the chairman. And I want to know, is that proper? Is that democracy? Should we expect I wouldn't say bitter is a harsh word, a active campaign for the chairmanship? What other positions are being challenged for within the Progressive Liberal Party. Will someone challenge for leadership? I say, I'm going to bait you again, Erin. You cannot challenge for leadership unless you have a seat. And coincidentally, it is said that the convention will happen first.
And then
the election.
Yeah.
So if you thought you could get a seat and then challenge for leadership, that can't happen.
See, when you threw your bait in the water, this is what I pull up with the hook. Mitchell says convention first, then it will be time to vote. That's the article in the Nassau Tribune, 24th of October 23. That's this week. Progressive Liberal Party Chairman Fred Mitchell said the West Grand Bahama and Bimini by-election will happen after the PLP's convention next month. He confirmed the election must happen by November 25th. Free National Movement's Bishop Ricardo Grant, the PLP's Kingsley Smith, and the Coalition of Independents Lincoln Bain are expected to vie for the seat. Independent candidate Neil Burrows has also said she will run. Mr. Mitchell said he does not expect anyone to challenge Prime Minister Philip Brave Davis and Deputy Prime Minister Chester Cooper for leadership positions at the PLP's convention. So that doesn't mean they're not up for grabs. That suggests to me that they will be on the table. But he, as the chairman, who holds the party line in the party, does not expect that anyone will challenge for the leader's position or the deputy leader's position.
So at this present time, we can assume that nobody is going to challenge for the deputy prime minister. No, change it. Deputy leader of the party.
Right.
That's different from prime minister and deputy prime minister.
Because there is
and
no such
correct
thing.
us if or allow us some leeway if
Yeah.
we miss and say deputy prime minister and prime minister, because we mean leader of the party, leader of the Progressive
Right, 'cause
Party,
we're talking
and deputy leader
about party business,
politics.
yeah.
Party politics. So you expect no one to challenge Philip Davis, no one will challenge
Cooper.
Chester Cooper.
Right.
And again, I reiterate, you can't challenge me if you have no seat.
See, two things. Is that in the party constitution?
No, because we know that at once upon a time, in the FNM, right, the leader of the party had no seat. He was in the Senate. That was Turnquest.
Yeah.
Right. He lost his seat, and he was the leader of the party, and they had to find a position for him, and they put him in the Senate, and he was the leader from the Senate, but they had a leader of. In the House of Assembly.
A leader of the opposition.
In the House of Assembly, which is Alvin Smith, if my memory serves me correctly.
All right. When you said Smith, I thought Brannon, but that name just popped in my head.
Yeah, I'm almost sure it's Alvin Smith.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
And so, but it can happen. See,
It can happen.
It can happen.
I don't think the Bahamian people nor the members of the Progressive Party would like a leader that doesn't have a seat, who has to wait until what happens in the House of Assembly happens and then respond.
See, but the thing of it is this, though, that if the Senate doesn't pass a bill, the bill is not passed. The Senate has the last word. And so the question is that does that position hold enough power for you to operate as leader? I think it does. But I will acknowledge that the current political culture, the way that these people do politics, will not tolerate that. And we saw that in Tommy's tenure as leader of the party.
But let's go back to the Progressive Liberal Party and their party politics, right? The chairman of the Progressive Liberal Party is 70 years old. That was made clear by D. Sheehan Gibson. He reminded us of his age, that that Frederick Mitchell is 70 years old. I'd like to put it into the record that the leader of the Progressive Liberal Party is 72 years old. These are matured men, right? So I'm not an ageist, because I believe that no matter how old you are, you can hold power. So Frederick Mitchell being 70 doesn't bother me. Brave Davis being 72 years old doesn't bother me, right? But again, it was reminded us by Sheehan Gibson that he's only 60. I remember when I was at 30 years old, I thought 60 was an old age. I said, man, why you don't retire and let me get this vice president position? But anyway, that's just me. Right? But age is just a number.
Some people are required by law to retire at 60 in some jurisdictions.
Defense force officers.
In this jurisdiction.
Yeah, they got to go. They are. They got to go at 60. But let's go to the phone calls and engage some of the callers.
And then we get to the
analyze.
articles.
Then we go to the articles. Go ahead, caller. Can you hear me? Caller ground once.
See Alan Johnson.
Go ahead.
Yeah, before I get to the PLP convention, let me just say this, right? The problem is not the age in our leadership, The problem is that they are anchored to 20th century concepts in the 21st century. And we can observe this. We are into our third decade of the 21st century, and as a country, we're still suffering with rudimentary technological advancements that was made before 2001.
And I love that. I want to ask you this. Can you give me two examples of some 21st century leaders inside the Bahamas, please? Just give me two names, please.
My wife, Eden Mary Gator, 27, data analyst, data scientist, artificial intelligence certified, and computer literate. Two children in the education sector, 6-year-old at the 6th grade level, and a 3-year-old at the 4th grade level.
Good. I'll take that, and I'll look for her in the future.
I heard what you said just there at the end. We can get into that conversation another time.
Right,
6-year-old at the 6th grade level and 3-year-old at the 4th grade level?
Yes.
Okay, then. I just want to make that note there, sir. Thank you.
Because that's what technology does. We should have that conversation on how you use technology to advance education. So these are things that I'm saying to you for a small country with the possibilities we're not exploiting. How long have you heard us talk about digitizing? It's been 20 years we said about we're going to do a tech hub in Grand Bahama. We're going to do all these different things, every single manifesto. And then they hire people that could barely pull off a tech meeting, not less a tech hub. But let me just go to the PLP thing. If you challenge the sitting government, have a convention, you challenge the leader, constitutionally you are challenging for prime minister. And the problem is that it's if you do not have a leader in the House of Assembly from the Constitution, then whoever sits in the House of Assembly that then commands the most respect act as prime minister, even though they may not be leader of the party. But our Constitution calls for the leader of the party with the most seats to hold the position of a prime minister.
No,
there's no such.
I want to get that exact wording because that's another debate.
Right.
Because my recall of the provisions it implies something different.
No. We say no. In the rest of the world, the one who commands the most respect. In the Bahamas, the order goes. First, the leader of the party with the most seats, and the absence of that person, then it's the person who could command the most respect. We protected the leader of the party, number 72 of the Constitution, if I'm correct. So what I'm saying is that it's unlike opposition, where you could sit in other two places. So I'm just saying is, if someone that doesn't sit in the House of Assembly challenges for the leadership of the Progressive Liberal Party, and they happen to win, then there will be no automatic protection for the leadership in the House of Assembly. It would then be which one of them commands the most respect amongst them.
I got you. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
In that respect. But there's no such thing as deputy leader. Anything. It's kind of like the Minister for Grand Bahama. It's just a title.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Good morning, caller. You're on Guardian Radio AM with Cecil Newry.
Caller, okay.
Sorry. Good morning, caller.
Go ahead again, caller.
Caller?
Nothing?
Boy.
Call back. Okay, they call him back now. Go ahead there, producer.
Thank you, caller. Good
Go
morning.
ahead, caller. Thanks.
Good morning, CA and Aaron Green.
Morning.
You asked the question, who would be that technical person in leadership?
No, who would be that 21st century leader? That's the question. I infer from your initial comment that person must inculcate or must have technical expertise as well to fit the criteria.
Yes. And I would tell you that after listening for a couple decades, I would say C. Alan Johnson would be that person, because I've listened to all the rest pontificate in and out of the House of Assembly. But my question to you, two of you, is once we found that person that was 22nd, 23rd century literate, would that person, like all of our prime ministers, MPs, and senators, would that person have to swear to the Queen of England, now the King of England, his heirs and successors, or our people? See, a law doesn't become a law until it's passed and then it goes to the Senate for stamping. And all of those have sworn to the Queen or King of England, including the Governor General, who has to sign off on it before it becomes law, and he's the King's representative. And words mean things. Ask lawyers. So if you've sworn to a foreign king in a foreign land, and you will come here and tell me that my future has to be grim, I reject that from my Bahamian people.
Thank you.
Okay.
Have a good day.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
So let's go back to the
I want to
article.
answer your question just quickly.
21st century leader.
Let me tell you who isn't the 21st century leader.
Who is in the 21st century?
So, 2 New Year's Eves ago, a big commercial vehicle came through my neighborhood and pulled down the BPL, the BTC, and the cable lines. And after several weeks, like 3 weeks, one of the communications providers came to pull their line. And I looked at the young man and I said, hey, sir, have you hung the line? Is the line now at the legally required height? Because there's a provision that lines have to be hung at a certain height so that commercial vehicles could pass and they know what their heights, right? Bang. The young man looked at me and said, miss, there's no way that I could determine the height of this line I hung because your house is on a slope. My house is on a slope. Mm-hmm. But the line that feeds my house runs across a horizontal plane. It's flat, it's perpendicular, right? The line is perpendicular to the plane. And I looked at the young man, I said, and I look at the slope, and I look at him, and I look at the slope. I said, sure, you sure? You can't measure this. He said, look at me, and he said, ma'am, it is impossible to measure that. And like, why are you running on with me? He cannot be the leader. He is not a 21st century leader. He can't be the leader. And it appears as I wanted to give you all an example because that's what most of our leaders, that's where they're operating.
Anyway, let's go back.
That's where they're operating.
Let me go back to this caller. Go ahead, caller. Caller. I'm getting ready to read that.
How y'all doing?
I'm doing well.
Good, thank you.
All right. I had the call when I heard a short while ago. I was trying to get it for a while, but
yes, sir.
when after C. Allen spoke, but when you guys were talking specifically about the age and retirement age of parliamentarians and so forth, so it begs the question what I've been asking for several years now. First of all, aren't persons in parliament members of the government?
No, they're politicians.
They're politicians, so they are not the part of the government. They form the government.
I mean, technically. But
so
you mean the administration?
No, that's civil service. That's not the government.
Parliamentarians.
That parliamentarians.
Yeah.
That's government.
The parliament, the executive, the legislature, the judiciary, 3 arms of government. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's no age on that.
So,
yes.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but anyhow, my concern is that everywhere else in the government service, in the government corporation, everything, they are forcing people to resign.
They call it civil service. That's different from parliamentarians.
They are forcing people to resign.
I get the point.
At age 60 and at 65, but yet at age 70, and they still won't go on. So why they resigning at 65 and 70, or when they reach the age of 60 and 65? I need somebody to explain that to me. I don't know if there's something in law or anything, but if you're telling everybody else that they have to leave the service at 60 and 65, depending on what area you work in, why are they still there?
Because
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and as another point that C. Allen had referenced with regards to the leadership. I'm not sure because it's something that caused me to ask as well. I'm not sure in terms of what the Constitution says. I'm supposed to follow it, but what I can recall is that the Prime Minister is the person who commands the leader of the majority, and not so much the leader of the party. I just need some clarity on that, because I always believe that it's supposed to be the leader of the majority of persons and not the party.
Yeah, I'm going to go into the Constitution this weekend and get the provisions so that we could read directly from the provisions, right? And that's the point that I said to C. Allen, we got to sit down and interrogate that, right? Whether it's the leader of the party with the most seats or the holder the majority of the seats.
The Constitution says party.
Who told you that?
The Constitution.
Phone? Your phone?
No, the Constitution says party. I
can read
the
it.
Conversation happened before, and where it used the word party.
Yeah, but did a politician tell you the Constitution said? Like, I just want to check it with my own eyes.
It came about during what that place is, Starfish. Remember Starfish?
The coup.
Yeah, the coup or the F&M.
The sad
the
seven.
conversation came about.
Savvy seven.
Yeah, the conversation came about that. Is that another call, or can we start this article? Is that another call?
Hello.
Okay, go ahead.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning to both of you all.
Yes, sir.
I heard you all said earlier that I think it's CA Newry, defense officers retire at 60. Well, I listen to this. The commissioner, I'm going to call no name because I know I know my word. The commissioner after Paul Paxton arrested dead, my homeboy, Hubert Alexander Ingram, the Right Honorable Hubert Alexander Ingram, told him, he was retiring, told that commissioner after Mr. Parkinson that he will be the last commissioner who will retire from the Royal Bahamas Police Force at 65. Now, Celestial Thompson, all those retired at 65. The Gerald Bartlett, 65. But all others, you notice they're retiring at 60. So we have the same rules as the defense force. 60 years old for police, and not 65 anymore.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate that. Okay. So
I see it with my eyes, sir.
So you see that was right then. So read that.
I mean, I
and
didn't
let's
see.
go- let's
Listen,
go-
I don't like how you sound like a politician just now. I see it with my eyes. I didn't see that you was right, but
I understand.
the word party is definitely there.
Yes, but read that into the record so people.
Okay, so
hear it.
Article 73 of the Constitution, Article 3 of the Constitution, Section 1, whenever there shall be occasion for the appointment of a Prime Minister, the Governor General shall appoint as Prime Minister the member of the House of Assembly who is the leader of the party which commands the support of the majority of the members of that House.
Okay, we just wanted to read that into the record, but let's go on to our conversation because you know we
Yeah,
have limited time.
yeah.
I also have guests.
All right,
coming
you want
in.
me to start with
no, I want to know who is challenging Fred Mitchell and why are they challenging Fred Mitchell for chairmanship of the Progressive Liberal Party, and then we can interpret what does that mean. Does that means that they have no confidence in his style of leadership? Will Fred Mitchell remain, or does he desire to remain as chairman of the Progressive Liberal Party? And the idea that Shane Gibson is vying, what does that say about his faction, the party itself, or his intention?
All right, I want to throw in there as well, does Shane even have a faction? But before that, and with your multiple choice, could it be that they're running because they want to ensure the proper function of democracy within their party and that they participate? They may want to just build a resume knowing that it's unlikely that they will win, but they want to build a resume to show that the leadership qualities that they can run a campaign, they can engage, right? Even though they know they're not going to win, they want to get that experience under their belt.
Can they do a campaign in 1 week? But anyway, let's read that.
I mean, I can tell you, yeah. So let's start with the, of course, we always start with the Guardian article, Gibson to run for PLP chairman. Three-way race likely to be most closely watched. Three-way race. Less than a week after he lost out on the nomination to run on the Progressive Liberal Party's PLP ticket in the West Grand Bahama and Bimini by-election, former Cabinet Minister Shane Gibson has nominated for the chairmanship of the party, which heads into convention on November 9th. Gibson, 62, will challenge current chairman Fred Mitchell, 70, and also former PLP Senator Robin Lyons, 40. While he did not offer a comment last night, Gibson confirmed to The Guardian that he nominated for the position. The chairmanship race will be the most closely watched race at the convention, given that the leadership and deputy leadership positions are not being contested. O.B. Roberts confirmed last night that he is running for deputy chairman, but the party did not release any information on who else is contesting the various positions. You see, because I think the people in the party think that just running for deputy chairman, right, will fulfill that function of vying, right, and getting experience and showing the party that we are part of the machinery and we can operate the machinery. But I think that I was going to say that's a coward's move, but I don't want to say that. I want to say something different. I think that that's not the smartest strategy if you're focused on national governance. Like, it may be a great political move within that tight party political culture. But as a model for national governance, I don't think it's a good idea.
Fred Mitchell is 70 years old,
Yeah.
right? More than likely, this is me, CA Newry prediction. I don't think he will run for the Fox Hill seat in the new upcoming general elections. Anything is possible. I'm not saying that he shouldn't run. I just say I don't think he will. That being said, yesterday, and if you ask me now, do you believe that Fred Mitchell will run for the chairman of the PLP? I'll say no. I don't think he will run. Right? I believe that he will abdicate that responsibility for the new generation of PLP leaders. That being said, and all this is setting you up so you can respond, between a Shane Gibson and what Lyons' first name again?
Robin
Lyons, right? In terms of direction of the Progressive Liberal Party, in terms of experience, in terms of working closely with the Prime Minister and his executive team. Since we only have two names, and saying I don't believe Fred Mitchell will run, who would be the better choice, the better candidate for the agenda that Philip Davis is pushing forward?
Robin, but I want to say what's best for the party and what's best for the country is my perspective.
And I appreciate that, but the
Because
party itself,
I say neither of them.
yeah, but the party itself has an agenda. And their agenda, they have concluded what is best for the country.
Yeah, right.
We may have a discrepancy on
I don't like
the intent.
Forgive my battering into your comment just now. I don't like that, sir. This what you imply, what you hope for us to infer from that combination of words you put together just now. There's nothing that the PLP does that's private. There's nothing that they are doing that they can tell us, the wider public, is not our business. First of all, on a general principle, you want to run our country.
And I still say
Second,
party politics and governance is two different things.
You have exposed that you don't have the ability to maintain what is politics in the sphere of politics and what is governance in the sphere of governance. And so for the citizen, the savvy member of the electorate, I could look at how your party operates and I could tell you what's coming up next. I could look at how your party operates and you what to expect. I could tell you how these government agendas will roll out, right? Thirdly, what happens in the party is a model. They can only practice in governance what they practice in the party. So there's nothing that the PLP, the FNM, the DNA, any OI or coalition of any bodies who want to run this country can do in their party that the public should not be privy to.
I hear you. And we may differ in terms
Right, and I'll
of
say
opinion.
that because
but I hear you.
that's a politic
Yes.
that I won't accept.
And I hear you. That's why I
Yeah.
say I hear you. But I want to analyze Robin Lyons versus a Shane Gibson.
Yeah, man.
Shane Gibson comes with a wealth of experience, right?
Yeah.
I think he's served twice in the cabinet and twice as a member of parliament in terms. And
Now, somebody told me that we can't call him honorable because he's only served once. And
I think he served
confirmed,
twice.
I haven't confirmed that
I'm
myself.
sure he served twice.
Okay.
And we can confirm that later on.
Yeah.
But I know he had several ministerial positions, right? Robert Lyons has been a senator, right? I'm not sure what other positions she's had in the party itself, and we need to do some research on that so we can put that out on the public. But then I want to understand what is the mandate, the responsibility of a chairman, and then I ask, can either a Shane Gibson do that mandate properly, and we either Robert Lyons can do that mandate properly, and that is the question now moving forward in terms of the party politics regarding that. I
got you.
But I see we have another caller here,
Yeah.
then you can respond. Pass the caller through there, producer. Go ahead, caller. Can you hear me?
Hey, what's happening with you all today? Pop here.
Good morning.
You know that thing which you call tuning what we listen to Lexa on?
Yeah.
What's going on with the Guardian? It's been for weeks now, like over a month now. I was wondering if y'all could check it out. So, you know, all us, I mean, and some of us still get radio, right? But we listen to it online and
Right.
you know, on the cable network. But the tuning,
I got
if
you.
y'all could check that out to see why we can't pick up 96.9 Guardian radio.
I will let them know that it appears to be malfunctioning or not working at all.
He asked a question just now, Miss Green. If Shane Gibson or Miss Lyons could get the work done, I think Shane Gibson could do it. I think he could he could be able to assist the Bahamian people more better.
But remember, that ain't what.
Red and yellow.
That's not what the chairman's job for.
Well,
Let's stay focused. Let's stay focused now.
That's what Mr. Newry. Okay, we stuck. I'm going to say stuck. I didn't mean to suggest that. What Mr. Newry is focusing on is their ability to form and deliver the party's agenda. And every incursion that I've made into the discussion to broaden it, he has narrowed it back down. And the focus is really on what Shane and what Robin bring to the PLP party and how they work with the Prime Minister to fulfill the party's agenda.
Shane Gibson is a team player. He should be able to work good with the Prime Minister to get things done. I don't know too much about the lady, but I know Shane Gibson has proven. He said, did you all hear what Fred Mitchell say to the media but Tuesday or Wednesday why the people in Western and Bimini should vote for the PLP, Mr. Newry?
No.
Because it sounds like, I don't know if y'all get the clip there or if y'all get it, the newspaper there. He say it's better, I paraphrasing what he said, is the best chance the people in Western and Bimini get is to vote for the PLP, because the PLP is the government and the PLP in power, and the PLP will be able to deliver. But I thought, like, when, different from this by-election, I know they just talk in rhetoric and politics. The PLP is the government for the Bahamas, and they have an obligation to deliver for the people in Western and Bimini, even if the people in Western and Bimini do not support the candidate for the PLP. So I think Fred Mitchell was out of order again. I don't know if you get the clip there, you could check it out.
Yeah, but I disagree with you. I understand exactly what Fred Mitchell said. I understand exactly what Fred Mitchell said and intended. Now, I understand your point in terms of how it sounds, but and I don't care who wins or loses the West Grand Bahama and Bimini seat. But the idea is that what he's trying to purport is vote for the government and you might have more things happen. And in contrast, you might vote for the opposition and you can have the challenging of exposing what is not happening. So I hear the semantics, and that's just an argument of sides.
That's what you heard? You know what I heard?
Yeah, go ahead.
I heard a rhetoric.
That's rhetoric. It is rhetoric.
That remains in politics that needs to be done.
And in every country.
It's like
every country thing.
So what? Remember what you tell me?
Uh-huh.
My country is what I focus on.
Yes.
I don't care about them other countries. What I
Yes.
care about is the state of politics in my country. And it's one thing for an opposition party, the smaller party, the one that doesn't have the government's treasury.
But you speak from a utopian concept where everything is perfect.
I speak
from a reality.
No, I speak from the perspective of adults who have the task.
We are all adults.
Who have
and
the
we
task
conclude,
of running our own country.
And the conclusion is still the same.
Then the conclusion is that it's a plantation and it will always be a plantation and there's nothing we could do about it.
Because there's no other choice.
There are other choices.
Give me an example.
There's me and you.
Okay, that's true. You got to vote first. Let's go to the next caller.
I mean, there's something.
Okay, we'll take a break now. I wanted to take a break when the guest came in, but we'll take a break now and then squeeze them in. Hopefully they're downstairs. Callers, we see you. We're going to come in, and as soon as we take the break, and we'll bring you all into the conversation. Guide me in the air.
They'll call you in for your x-ray shortly.
That's why they call it a waiting room. You won't have that problem at Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center or Imaging at Grosvenor. We never schedule multiple appointments, so you'll be in and out in no time. And if your initial screening reveals a concern, our radiologist can conduct an alternative screening right then and there. Call 328-8157 to schedule an appointment at Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center or Imaging at Grosvenor today.
Boy, you know what going down tomorrow?
Nobody, what happening?
Joe bringing these knives to school. He could do Junior in.
For what?
Boy, he fooled with Joe girl.
Mother sick. And you know Junior don't back down for nothing. So that means you got a big fight tomorrow.
So whose side you want?
Side? I trying to stay in school, not Simpson Pen. We gotta tell somebody about this fight.
Tell somebody? I ain't no snitch. I mean cool, you know.
Boy, if you so cool, then you need to stay in school and stay out of the fight.
Yeah, but if I don't hang on Joe's side, how many boys coming for me next?
Alright, so we definitely gotta tell somebody. We gotta prevent the fight.
What I say, I don't want nobody call me snitch.
We could just call Crime Stoppers. You could report what you know, and nobody got to know it's you.
So what are the boy?
All you got to do is call them or you text them through the Crack Crime Bahamas app, and nobody can know it's you.
Then the police come looking for me for more info, and when they finish with them, Joe them coming looking for me?
When you call Crime Stoppers, the call go directly to Miami, and they don't ask nothing about you. Then you can get the pen from them, and you can claim a reward later using that same pen.
Plus, everything's scrambled, so nobody can read what you saying.
Calls 328-8477 from Nassau or 242-300-8477 from the Family Islands.
And welcome back to Guardian Radio AM with CA Newry. We have a guest actually who came in, and we're glad to have her here. But we want to wrap up this section right now. We have a caller online. Let's get to this caller, and then I'll let Erin summarize. And then I need a text or the name of our guest so she can be aware of what's happening. And sorry for that, Erin. I can say the name.
Good morning, caller. You're on Guardian Radio AM with CA Newry. Good morning, caller. The
number you have dialed.
I am sorry that you couldn't hold on. Okay, so we're just wrapping up the conversation about the race to chairman. That's not what it is. We're talking about the PLP convention and political culture at that level in party politics, not questioning, but interrogating the qualities of both Shane Gibson and Robin Lyons and what they bring to the table in terms of a chairman's ability to fulfill and propel the party agenda. We need far more time for this conversation. Before we go to the call, I just want to say Leslie Miller isn't running for chairman.
Leslie have a word with that contract again. That's
Yeah.
what we need to worry about. Go ahead, caller. Let's make this quick as we wrap it up. Go ahead, caller.
It's good. Morning, Mr. Newry. Morning, Aaron again.
Morning.
The New Right support Fred Mitchell running as chairman again because heading into the January election in 2026, he was a good component for bringing in and leading the Bray Davis party government. And I think I support the PLP too, and PLP part of majority rule. We need that type of spirit, that type of goal and type of skills to bring in our 2026 election. And Shane Gibson running for chairman, they look at him as a person needs something. And the question is, what do he need? So I support the chairman.
Okay.
And I support all PLP to go after the chairman.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's go to the next caller so we can wrap this up. Go ahead, caller. Can you hear me?
Hello?
Hey, we can hear you loud and clear.
Good morning.
Yeah, how are you, Aaron?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I just want to piggyback on what I think it was Papa was saying.
Mm-hmm.
I was the clipping when they said that for the person who is in the government party. Is that what he said?
Repeat that. I lost the first. Repeat what you
I
said.
said he was saying that Clifton said that Fred Mitchell.
You can't, ma'am. You can't reverse. It's just too much noise in the background. Don't reverse while you're speaking.
Okay, you could hear me now.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm saying Papa was saying that Fred Mitchell said it's best to vote for the person in the governing party. Was that what Papa was saying?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I say that don't always work because it wasn't working with the former member of parliament.
I got you.
Or the one before that, too.
No, it wasn't working.
Or the one before that, also.
Or the one before that.
Or the one before that, also.
What started to work for Obi, this is his ministry, social services.
Ah.
I feel, my thing is, even let's look at the marital bill, right? I feel like he was in favor of that. And he would have passed that bill had he had not some hindrance, okay?
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of bills and a lot of things he's standing out for sending this. But the government was knocking it.
The government was knocking it?
Nothing for the ministry and nothing for his constituents. That's how I look at it.
I hear you, ma'am.
I think so. I feel like what persons need to do, get out of this party politics thing and vote for the person, the man who they working in the community, the person who they could look at and see what he's doing.
Absolutely.
Whether you know what I mean? That's the person nowadays. They're with the party now. Vote for the individual who you think best for your community.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you.
One more call, Aaron. Go ahead, caller. Can you hear me? Caller, go ahead.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Great. I'm on. Hi, Aaron.
Honey.
Morning. I'm calling to just remind everybody of something that Fred Mitchell said.
Go ahead.
I believe he told Sheen Gibson that senior statesmen need to know when to leave. And I just would like to reiterate that he just turned 70 last week. Am I not correct?
Yeah, he's younger than the Prime Minister. Yes, you are right.
Exactly. I think he should take his own advice and know when to leave.
No, we need Brave Davis still longer.
No, she ain't talking about Brave.
Oh, because I know, despite our Prime Minister being older than Fred Mitchell, we need him longer.
This is the PLP has not had a convention since, I believe, 2018. 2018, they had a convention of 17 following the that election where the administration took over.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't had an election for about 6 or 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
I think Robin is a good look for females in politics. I don't recall us ever having a female chairman in any of the political bodies.
Loretta?
No, Hannah Martin was chairman.
Yeah.
Hannah Martin was chairman.
But then you remember, in fact, I'm going to say, is Robin safe? Is Robin safe considering the way they talked to Hannah Martin on the convention floor the last time? Ma'am, I about to tell them they can't have no convention if that's how they're going to talk to the female members of their party.
I agree with you, Erin. And I think Robin is a bright woman. She's a brilliant attorney. She's been served in their party. And I'm not a PLP, but she's served in their party in many capacities. I believe she's deputy chairman right now. So she went through several positions in their party. She's a female. I believe that it's a new day. Well, Robin, she looks more like their slogan, the new day to me.
Yes, ma'am.
I like what you're saying.
He's 70 years old, and he needs to go and sit down and finish traveling the world as Minister of Foreign Affairs, which he loves to do.
Absolutely.
Let's
Thank you.
turn the party over to the younger people in the PLP.
Thank you.
And I just want to correct Mr. New. We said the F&M. You don't know when the F&M had a convention, but the F&M had a convention in 2022 of February. So
that one-day convention when they had one position.
No. You are incorrect. They had a leadership convention in 2021 where Michael Pintard was appointed as leader. Then they had a full convention, which was 3 days. Normally, convention is 3 days.
Okay.
They had that in February of 2022. So they should have a convention coming up probably sometime next year.
Okay.
Thank you very much,
Their parties have convention every 2 years.
All right. Thank you very, very much.
You're welcome.
Okay. Aaron, I can't take any more calls.
No, I just want to say this last thing. Brave is 72, Mitchell is 70, Shane is 60.
Mm-hmm.
They need to stop using old stock photos. If y'all gonna run in politics, y'all have to insist that the media use current photos
That's how they look now.
of yourself.
That's how they look. They look old.
But they don't look no old there.
That's just what we call it, airbrush.
That's no filters.
But we
No
have
AI.
in studio today Miss Naisha Tillis.
Yes, that's
Miss
correct.
Naisha Tillis, and she is organizing a conference, a pageant conference expo for the first time. It's the inaugural.
Yes.
Pronounce that. Inaugural.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
a fancy way.
Mm-hmm.
You could say
Say
first
first time.
ever.
First ever.
But I want you to tell us about it, actually. Why is there a need for this conference, and what you mean by a beauty pageant conference?
No, you see,
Go ahead.
you don't X me out of the conference altogether with one word.
You want to be a
It's
pageant?
a pageant conference.
Yes.
Fortunately for me, beauty is not a requirement, sir.
Oh, Lord.
Let's go.
So the purpose of the pageant is just to provide a space and platform for pageant education. We have keynote speakers and guest speakers such as Chantel O'Brien, who would have represented the Bahamas at Miss Universe and placed top 10.
Mhm.
We have Luciera, who has co-Miss Universe, that pageant, for over 10 years,
Okay.
as our keynote speaker. We have Janelle Tongs coming. She is from Trinidad and Tobago, and she was Miss Supranational Trinidad and Tobago. We have Miss Ireland, World Ireland, coming in. And so we have a platform where you get to hear from different systems, locally, regionally, and internationally, what the landscape is like, just to be able to provide insight so that we're able to prepare ourselves for the pageant space.
Mhm.
We're able to be more competitive in that space.
As a jurisdiction
Correct.
competing in pageants. Okay.
Correct.
Yeah.
And so there's no platform for pageant education generally.
Mhm.
And so the purpose of this conference is to start doing that and professionalizing the industry as well as providing education as it relates to the industry.
And perhaps creating local standards and benchmarks so that we can ensure that there's a continuous practice of ethics, a standardized practice of ethics,
go.
protection of participants, Absolutely.
And so this starts that conversation about those things that needs to happen within the industry.
So who is expected to attend this conference?
So this conference, we have aspiring pageant delegates who are a part of this, veterans, enthusiasts, influencers, designers, photographers, all who play a role in the industry, whether directly or indirectly. We have parents of hopefuls that'll be a part of this as well, so that they can get the information on how they can support their child if they're interested in the industry of pageantry. And so we welcome anyone that has some inkling of interest in the industry or just want to know more about it, even if they themselves aren't interested and want to know how they can possibly support someone or support our national delegate, whomever that may be, that's representing the Bahamas, because when they compete internationally, they have the Bahamas across their chest.
Yeah.
So they're not known as their name, they're known as the country. And so for us, we want to invite anyone that would be interested or is interested in seeing how they can support future delegates from the Bahamas.
So let's get into the conference details, and then I want to ask more about the scope of pageantry, right, that we're looking at. When, where, and how?
Sure. So the pageant conference is set to take place tomorrow, Paradise Island. It starts at 10 a.m. We have our registration at 10. We're done at 3 p.m. And so all you have to do is come on down at Warwick tomorrow, Saturday, the 28th of October, where the pageant conference will be taking place.
So just come. You don't have to call or anything?
You come. We
Now,
want
is
you
there
to come.
is there a cost attached?
So because we're on this show, if you're listening to me, you have a free pass to attend this conference. So what you're going to do is show up to this conference and say the word Newry, and you get in to this conference for free.
What a powerful name. What a powerful name.
Hey.
Free by saying the word
See,
Newry.
right, me, I just come because I bring talent. Yeah, I'm not sure about the
And brains.
the beauty part. And brains.
Hi.
Right. And
beauty.
creativity.
All of those.
And a little wit. Most of it is from my mother.
And I bring beauty.
Yeah.
Anyway, you come tomorrow and say the word Newry and you get in free. You said.
Correct. Aside from if you're hearing me, then you know you get in for free.
Yeah.
So if they don't hear this, then they're gonna experience that cost at that event.
Absolutely.
$100.
So remember, when the people look at you with a side eye and say, how did they do that? You tell them, I listen to Guardian Radio.
There you go.
Guardian Radio AM, to be exact. There you go. All right, Ms. Tully, the scope of pageantry. I'm a creative. I'm into costume designing. I'm not necessarily into beauty. What types of pageants exist around the world, and what type of pageants can we be hosting here in the Bahamas or participating in other jurisdictions?
Oh, so there are so many layers to that, right? So there are different types of pageants that have different values, different morals, different missions. Their vision is different. And so it's important for anyone interested in pageantry to do their research to find what pageant fits them. So often we find where we're placing delegates in a pageant, but it's not necessarily the pageant that fits who they are. And so you want to be able to find pageants whether they emphasize talent, whether they emphasize creativity, whether they emphasize their intellectual ability. So there are different pageants, different systems. Some we have here in the Bahamas and we send delegates off to international. Some where you have the option to just go straight to internationals and compete in that pageant. And so while we don't necessarily have a database of all of those pageants just yet, it is coming, and the start of that is this conference tomorrow.
Absolutely. So as a talent scout, I can be scouting from local competitions and asking participants, young women, if they want to be placed in other pageants globally, right? So I can pull from the pool that's available. Producer, I'm not getting my hopes up. I thank you for the reality check. I'm not getting my hopes up. Okay, so we're at the Warwick tomorrow.
Yes.
Start time is 9 a.m.
10 a.m.
Sorry, 10 a.m.
But we're going to say 9 because we know Bahamian time.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we say 9, then they'll be there for 10.
And if you're getting in for free because you heard the word Newry,
correct,
right? Then get there early because plenty of y'all may be getting there for free. So
Sounds
get
good.
on the line. Now, will refreshments be available? Do I need to be prepared? I'm bringing some young people. Do I need to be prepared to buy lunch for them? Are refreshments available?
So light refreshments will be available.
Okay.
And you don't have to purchase that.
Okay.
Yes.
But if anything heavier than that,
Then
come
you would
prepared.
need to be prepared
And
to.
Warwick is card only, cashless?
Warwick is card only.
Okay. Just want people to be prepared.
Yes.
Yeah. Card only. 10 a.m. start time, 3 p.m. close time.
Correct.
Let's go through some of the events, the list. things on the activities on the schedule.
Okay, so we have someone tackling networking and the importance of networking. That's Victoria Moore. She was Miss Kansas USA 2016. We have Janelle, who's talking about the importance of planning and preparing for your pageant. So you don't just wake up and decide to join a pageant and win.
Yeah.
It takes preparation, and so she's going to talk about that. We have Luciera, who's going to talk about the winning edge, because she's seeing girls compete from all over the world, and some of which her clients have won Miss Universe. So how can we position ourselves in the Bahamas to do that? Chantel was the closest, and for us, she won, right?
Yeah. Oh,
and so how can
absolutely.
we actually bring the crown back home, literally? So Luciera will be tackling that, and we have Chantel O'Brien, and she'll be talking about pageant stardom and how to manage that. And so all of those things will be taking place. We have photo opportunities. Tonight, we actually have a private dinner. Unfortunately, I can't give you all the password because that one's a private and intimate event where you get to hear from them in an intimate setting, ask questions one-on-one, but the objective is just to educate in the pageant industry.
Right. Contact information for people who want to register today.
So for people who want to register, I'd recommend going to our social media pages at Regal Excellence. There you can send us a private message and we'll be able to assist you. If not, you can also reach us at 454-222-6. 454-222-6. That is Regal Excellence, and we'll be able to assist you with any additional information that you need.
Absolutely. I'm coming to find out whether there are culturally appropriate pageants for androcized women like myself.
Of course.
In other jurisdictions
I just
of
came
the
from
world.
one.
Right. Thank you.
This has been Guardian Radio on the AM with C.A. Newry. Thank you very much, Mr. Tisleth. Thank you very much, Aaron Green.
Thank you.
And good luck for tomorrow.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful day.
Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.